All right, hello and welcome to everybody. Something new, Edmonds Racing Review Show. This is something we're going to try this week, everybody. Every Monday after the weekend's racing, we thought we'd split our show up into a review on a Monday and then have our preview as we normally do on a Thursday, just to make the episodes a little bit shorter and sweeter. Speaking of sweet, it was a terrific weekend for the guys. 23 runners, 6 winners at 26%, a ripping weekend. Tobe, highlighted by the fact that you guys hit 100 winners for the season.
Yes, come around. I know Trent wanted to sort of get to 100 a little bit earlier than this, but with what's happened with the split up of these zones, it's taken a little bit longer, but great effort from everyone involved. We thank all our owners for their continued support, and our team behind us is where it all happens. Our staff, our track riders, the jockeys do a great job for us, and the form guys behind the scenes as well as you do, and keep supplying us with these horses so we can makes us look somewhat good. And I'm not sure where we get to now, but 100's a target, and now we've still got a couple of months to go of the season. At least, is it 3 months? Is it? We could get to 100, and I don't know what the number is, but that'll be the benchmark for next year. Yeah,
and that's the thing. I mean, there's no such thing as an overnight success, but when you look at your last 5 seasons, it's just incredible. It's just increased the numbers of winners each season. I think your record set last season was 111. You obviously look like you're going to chase that down, and it's exciting times for the stable, isn't it? Toby, you worked bloody hard for a long time with all your family, and every year it's just coming together more and more.
It's been great, and as once again, we can't do it without the owner support, our staff behind us, and everyone who puts in. It's not just Trent and I as we're the front men, but certainly them guys are starting 3 a.m. every 6 days a week, trudging to the races and getting home at midnight some nights, from the sunny coast and that sort of stuff. So they deserve a lot of the credit as well.
Yeah, no, super effort, guys. I mean, there's only 10 other stables in Australia that have done that so far this season. All the big names, the Wallers, the Mars Eustace, the James Cummings, the Snowdens, the Waterhouse Bot team. So, it's pretty rarefied air. So congratulations, guys. And also a big job, Trent. 5 winners. 5, half the card you trained at the Gold Coast on the Saturday, mate. Bloody hard to do, but you tell me you've done it before.
Yeah, well, Dad had. He was actually on holidays in New Zealand, and we had 5 winners at the Sunshine Coast. It was a midweek meeting when Racing Queensland were trialling 12 race cards, and on that occasion we had 5 winners in a second. So that was a huge day, and I suppose you never go to the races hoping that things like that would eventuate, because it just blows your mind how you leave the races after a day like that, just unbelievable. So I thought probably the week before we were going to have a huge day. It didn't quite work out, and then for this week to eventuate was, last Friday, sorry, to eventuate was just outstanding. And as I think I mentioned after that, all the majority of them got really good rides. They were in good races to draw well and race well, and need a bit of luck, and we got some.
Yeah, dead right. And I thought if people had watched the preview show from Thursday, they might have been pushed into a few of these or tipped into a few of these. Just a bit of underlying current of positivity I sort of felt. Mate, let's start with the winners. The Gold Coast JETTY. We obviously had Pareto in the same race and thought she'd run very well. But when you were speaking about JETTY, Trent, there was an underlying sort of, this guy's got a good future. He's big and raw still, but he's got a future, and gee, he won well.
He did, yeah. He is, and that's probably the exact word for him. He's raw. He's really new still. So to be fair, he probably shouldn't have been able to do that. I was worried about him sort of 1200 first up, doing a bit wrong back in behind them, because he wanted to get on the bridle a bit and get going. But he was good enough to race lovely and tractably, and really soft barrier for a first-time 2-year-old is a huge help, and he had that, and Ryan was able to give him a pretty economical steer. And you know, he raced well, and he's got a future. We take care of him now. You know, he should have a good future. Maybe when things open back up a bit, you know, there's some really good Tudis money. And I think that was 60-something thousand to the winner as well. So that was great. And it was our second 2-year-old winner in 2 weeks after Loving missed the week before. So still good money, even though we're sort of in this zoning at the moment. It's good coin.
Yeah, lovely. Well done to the 2K team there. Superb effort. I mean, the full brother to Champagne Jet, and also Unconditional, who'll debut for the stable later in the month too, I think. So that was really good. Toba, second one was Green Jacket. Another probably sort of theme to the winners this week was horses that have come from elsewhere, arrived with you guys, obviously settled in very quickly and gone bang, bang. I think 3 of our 6 winners were horses that were sort of new to the stable in the last few starts. And Green Jacket's one of those. He's from Bob Guth and the team down there in Sydney. And mate, he was superb from a wide alley, Andrew Mallion aboard.
Yeah, he ended up getting a really nice run, actually. And he's a big, unassuming guy. I don't think the penny's quite dropped with him either. And what he did Friday was on raw ability. He's still got quite a bit to learn. You know, we're thinking possibly blinkers as well. We'll get a bit more out of him. Just mention a couple of owners. Bob Guth's sent us this horse, who sent us Cadogan as well. And in that ownership group, there's a couple of guys that raced Siegfried, who was a really good handicapper for us a couple of seasons ago. Dean Firth and Peter Jones. They're both of Macquarie Bank guys and good friends of mine. So well done to them guys. Their first horse back with us since Siegfried, and is able to get the job done, and they're very excited, and hopefully it can go on now.
Yeah, absolutely. Siegfried, mate, we hear about him every week on our WhatsApp group with race programmer Alex Warry, and he's always on the Siegfried. Remember when Siegfried did this and that? You know, it's the beauty, isn't it? But what do you put it? Sorry?
He's the benchmark, Siggy.
Yeah, he did say it is. He did say it is. He obviously had a special place in everyone's heart at the time. But so what do you put it down to these horses? I mean, what do you do with these horses when they first come to you? They've obviously all come, they arrive in a new stable, whole new setup. Is it just a relaxing environment there at the Gold Coast, or what do you think it is?
Yeah, possibly. We don't do a great deal different. We just treat them as they fit into our system pretty well. We don't overtrain them. Maybe there's something in that. I'm not sure. But you know, this horse comes looking really good actually. But from Bjorn, he's in good order, and you know, look, I find the New South Wales form, especially even if they go to Bathurst or Orange or wherever these horses go to, is, you know, if they've got some ability. A lot of the Sydney trainers are taking the horses out there now to try and, you know, either educate them or bowl them maiden over, and then let them progress. So the form's quite strong, you know, and still we find that those type of horses still perform quite well. And as long as he goes on, improves a little bit, he's going to be a nice horse.
Yeah, lovely. No, very good. Well done there, guys. And our next winner was exactly the same, sort of come from elsewhere, bit of freshness in her legs, and she's really found her groove up here in Queensland. Vine is the power. Trent got you on the board too with your big charity bet, mate. Well done. She is now 2 for 2 for the stable.
Yeah, it was about time that I got on board there. I had an absolute nightmare. Look, she's quality mare. Hasn't put a foot wrong since arriving. Keen to sort of just keep her nice and fresh, race her sparingly. Couple of little joint niggles in that we manage, which is fine. It was looking a bit hairy at the halfway point, I must admit, when she was sort of 3 deep and they hadn't gone a breakneck speed up front. But you know, I suppose that's why she carried the 61 minus the 3. She was a lot of the 61 kilos. She had a fair bit of class on them and won really easily. So she's obviously back in good form, relished the drop in company up here, and she can go on with it, I guess. She's going super, and all they can do is win. So looking forward to her sort of progression over the next couple of months.
Yeah, perfect, mate. And will she sort of stick to the 1,200 metre journey, you think, going forward?
For now, I'm pretty keen to sort of keep her pretty fresh, space her runs nicely, and sort of stick to that journey. I think pretty good offer when a hot speed will eventuate and she's able to rip down the middle like she did first up, and then like she did on last Friday.
Yeah, nice work, mate. Well done. Those that watched the show on Thursday would have got the early $3.60. I think she came up initially, or $3.80 even, backed into $1.90 and got the job done very well, sitting 3 deep on the pace. So she did a big job. Tobe, another filly that did a big job for the team was Vanna Girl. Carried a big weight, 3-year-old filly, 60 kilograms, but got a lovely ride. And to be fair, she just was tough and attacked the line.
Yeah, look, she's obviously she was the quality runner and carried was awarded 60 kilos for that reason. She's her record's pretty good. She's a filly with a promising future over a bit more ground as well. She's probably a little down on Friday with that big weight. You know, they didn't go very hard in the race, so it's sort of set up for the things. It was difficult to get home from behind, and luckily we drew one and we were able to position up, you know, a couple lengths back, and Matt McGilvray's put into the race at the right time. We didn't want to be, you know, running up bums or anything like that and stopping momentum, especially with 60 kilos, and he was able to do it. He just give her a beautiful run through from that one barrier, and she showed a quality, a class. It wasn't you know, certainly wasn't an easy run for us. You know, she lumped that weight and she felt the run a little bit too. So she's gone out to the farm now for a couple of days, and she'll recover well out there, and she'll come back and get ready for those listed races that we've got programmed for her. Yeah,
Lover, I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, lovely. All right, taking some black type. Lovely. All right, another one you sort of half pushed us into on the show on Thursday, Trent, was Potro Duro. It really took a big step up in class, and I must say in my pre-form I was sort of thinking it might have been a bridge too far, but you had a bit of confidence on Thursday, and the grade duly delivered.
Yeah, well, if you watch his first up run a couple of weeks ago, he got into awful trouble. Sort of, I wanted him to be, he was on a hot speed. I wanted him to be getting out into the clear and building momentum, sort of from top of the straight onwards. That never eventuated. Got back to the inside, and it got really messy and dirty, and he sort of still hit the line pretty well. So I was really confident that he'd race super. His work was really good leading in. Just needed him to get a run, obviously, and I thought with that soft barrier, he would have been able to. It basically worked out how I thought. Just track a good speed from a couple out wide and be strong late. It's interesting to note that Ryan Maloney was really aggressive on him late and lifted him over the line. He was of the opinion that the track was too hard for him, but he was tough enough to, you know, race really well and tough out a good solid win. And as you said, up in grade, but obviously he's going the right way. He should only get better this preparation because he's still a little bit chubby. So, it was a great effort, and he's right to go right on with.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, excellent. All right, you head out to Ipswich there yesterday, Tobe, and Trent did, but Toby, we were cheering from home. Ipswich powering, got up for the 2K team and brought up your 100th winner for the season, a horse that you've had for 3 starts now, and that was the second win for the team.
Yeah, good tough win. Set up on a fairly good tempo, I thought. They run along pretty strongly by the look of it. And, you know, out to that distance, third up, I thought he'd done a terrific job. Good and tough late. They were coming at him. He probably just about had enough on the line, but credit to McGilvray, did ride that horse quite well, and some of the race up nicely to get him home. I thought the win was really good, and you know, he could probably go out in distance now a little bit, be a bit fitter, and he should be proved hard to beat if we place him rightly. If we place him right, rather. Yeah,
and they seem like those sort of staying races there, the field's generally a bit smaller up here too, aren't they? You know, so a horse like this can get over a bit of a trip. There's some nice options for him to win some more prize money for the connections.
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. All right, well, there's some beaten runners. I thought there were some very good beaten runs too, and some winners amongst them next time out from right through. So we might just run through them quick, guys, for everyone at home, just to give a one-liner on what you thought of the run. And where we might see them next type thing. So we'll go to the Gold Coast first. Trent Paredo in the 2-year-old race.
Yeah, I thought she was okay to the line. I actually picked her as our first pick in the race, obviously. I think Matt said after the race, blinkers sooner rather than later. So we might see a change in gear next start for her.
All right, blinkers on and settle a bit closer and a little out and trip a touch.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
See what options there are. Okay, very good. PALICKI, Toby?
PALICKI raced well, just even though she's rising 4 now. I thought she should have been a bit more mature than that. So we're going to give her a break and let her come back. She's got good ability, just hasn't quite shown at race day yet, and she maybe just need to strengthen up a little bit more.
Understand. All right, very good. Applause for the Lucky Clover team. Trent?
I'm going to make him my one to follow. It was a big improvement on his first up run. We rode him steady again, stripped the blinkers off, and he ran to the line really well. So watch for him next start. Whether or not we step him up a little bit further, I think he can win. If he draws a barrier, he'll wherever we take him, he'll nearly knock his maiden off pretty quick.
Okay, very good. And we also had She's a Boss and Vine as a Powers race, Toby.
She's a Boss. Track a bit firm for her. Just need to place her somewhere where if we can find a track with a bit of give in it, as it was at Moolumbar. I think we mentioned that if the track didn't get firm, she would struggle a bit, and she did. But second up, she's had that second up run now for a bit of fitness, and we won't run her till we find the right surface and the right race. She'll be very, very hard to beat at her next start.
Very good. Okay. Out of Vanna Girls race, slow tempo up front made it very hard to make up ground. And those that settled back included Indian Dreamer for us, Trent.
Yeah, settled back. Basically got into a fairly uncompetitive spot, but Michael Carr was really happy with him. Obviously, the result wasn't there. A huge talent, this bloke. And back to the drawing board with him. Mick said that he was really strong through the line, giving him a grouse feel, but just never eventuated.
Yeah, no, I think they ran home in sort of 34. I think the only race that they ran home a quicker. Last 600 was a 900-meter race, so yeah. They went pretty quick late there. Vivid Fortress, same deal, Tobe.
Yeah, she's a bit unlucky, I suppose, in the sense she wasn't beaten that far. I thought the run was quite good. Mark Curry's runner that Emma Lung rode actually had to check, and Scott Gallo obviously rode ours and was right behind her, and he also had to check. So ended up in an uncompetitive position. He then waited and cut the corner. I thought he did the right thing actually, and give her a chance, but she ran on nicely. Anyway, we haven't got her anymore. She's gone to another trainer, so they can they'll have a bit of fun with her now. Now we've done all the hard work, and she's when she has a break, she'll be a nice filly in the for those guys in the summertime, I suppose. Now.
Sure, understood. But disappointing there. But anyway, them's the breaks, unfortunately. Jettifair, Trentster, first start for the stable. She was keen to get on with things on her first start in the sunny Queensland.
Yeah, she was way too fresh. Carried on like a pork chop pre-race. Give us a bit of a time. So she was obviously just really above herself. Watched her canter to the barriers, and she pulled a ring out basically, and was just well above herself. So she's had that first up run now. We can get underneath her a little bit more, and she'll improve her stack sort of going into her next run and then further on. But yes, she just, we were obviously learning about her, and it took me by surprise that she got so wound up before the run that I could probably be putting that politely. So back to the drawing board, but I expect her to improve pretty sharply with that run out of the way, and we'll just get stuck into her now, and she can get fitter, and she'll improve a heap. Yeah,
100%. Just fresh first up, mate. So for the stable, she'll definitely improve off that. That's for sure. All right, and then the lucky last in Archer Park had the 2 Potraduro got up and Say I See You, Tobe.
Yeah, Say I See You, similar situation to She's the Boss. He doesn't perform on firm ground at all, and unfortunately the track was quite firm late in the day, so he'll be better placed, similar to She's the Boss, when we find that right surface with a bit of cut in the ground, and he'll tick over till then till we find that race, and he'll perform well at his next run if we can get the right conditions.
Right conditions are perfect. All right. Well, it was a great Friday day. Friday night wasn't so pretty. Sunshine Coast, Trent, Painted Wolf.
He's retired now. Horse that as a baby had good ability. We sent him out after he trialled as a 2-year-old pre-Christmas. First day he was out in the paddock, he put his leg through a fence, so that hampered him his whole career, unfortunately. So, he's going to go live out his days on Mark's property, which is great. And, we obviously never seen the best of him, so that brings the close to his career, and now he can be a paddock pony.
Yeah, and you've got to really respect that, I suppose. The horse that's clearly feeling his joints, and instead of selling him on or moving elsewhere, you guys are just said along with the owners just to say, listen, we're going to give this guy a nice retirement now because, we don't want anything bad to happen down the track. So, yeah, I really respect that, guys. Well done. Of course, she will have her first start for the stable Tobe at the Sunshine Coast. Yeah,
disappointing. Drew a bit awkward, so Bailey had to go back a little further than we would want to. That 1,000-metre start profiles, you've sort of got to be in the first few. You can win from back as one of Bafana did there one time, but it's very rare, especially when you get up in grade. It's sort of profiles, in the first 3 or 4, 2 to 3 lengths off him at the 600. Well, he had to drag him back and drag her back and ended up with a wide run. She hadn't trialled. I think she'd had a jump out or something come down from Chris, so maybe she just needed that by the look of it, and she'll improve off that. I'm not too concerned about the way she went. She's a filly that, the boys, Jeff Lloyd's ridden her, Ryan Maloney's go up, so they both say she flies. So I expect her to bounce out of that now, and we can get a soft draw somewhere and find the right race. She'll run well.
Yeah, no, okay, good stuff. We'll watch her second time around. And Rumbarella, Trent, they went like cut snakes in that race. I think the leader must have led by 10 lengths and running there and kept going.
Yeah, that's right. Might have just got a bit too far back as well, but had to make up a stack of ground. Irrespective of whether the leader sort of kept going or not, he was fairly disappointing. He didn't make up a great deal of ground at all. So thought, if anything, the leader kept going. He was probably entitled to finish off and run second, and he didn't do that. So, yes, a bit of a head scratcher.
No, all good. Excellent. All right, guys. We went to Randwick with Ty Zone. He's headed towards a Brisbane Winter Carnival, and I suppose he went down there to kick off his campaign with not a lot of suitable options up here at this stage. What did you make of him, Tobe?
I thought he ran well. I thought the race was run very pedestrian, and he wanted to over-race and race really fresh. Left him a bit flat-footed as he'd done so much work, running through the bridle. Never threatened at all in the run, but certainly didn't give a great deal of ground away. I thought he was okay to the line. He'll improve sharply now. We sent him there basically for that fitness run. Sounds an odd thing to do, to get a fitness run into him, but against that hardened competition, which he's going to be up against for his next few runs at least, I thought it easier having a decent blowout than another trial or something where there's no competition. So he'll improve pretty quickly now off that run. He comes home tonight and gets ready for those. Obviously, Stradbroke's is his goal, so he'll run one more time before the Stradbroke, I think.
Right, very good. Very good. All right, we went to Ipswich yesterday. Trent, you did. Sometimes the bobs go your way, sometimes they don't. We got out-bobbed on a couple here. Ipswich, first being Naminga, who cut the corner there and looked like the winner right until the post.
Yeah, raced well. Stepping up in Journey, unfortunately, just got rolled. He's ready to win pretty quickly, probably step up again in Journey, and he should be knocking a maiden off, in the near future, you'd have to think. It was a good effort.
Good stuff. And NYMERIA, Tobe, for the Archer Park team, she's by a real saga out of a Dan Zero mare. She's bred for speed, but I tell you what, over the 1,500 metres, she was getting home like a classy middle distance mare going forward.
Yeah, I think the more you leave her alone early, the better she finishes off. That was a good run. She hadn't run for a little bit either. So I think, learning something about it. That Ipswich surface obviously suits her. Firm ground's no good. That does have a bit of cut in the ground, or that's a brand new track, and it did race like that last Monday as well. So she was able to finish off and get her out and journey a little bit and ride a similarly. She's going to be very, very hard to beat. I thought it was a top effort, and the boys will get another win out of her in due course.
Yeah, nice stuff. Okay, excellent. Well done, guys. All right. Well, we had the old match race there between Great Keppel, Trent, and TZIPORAH, Toby. Unfortunately, both got just done right on the line. Trent, first up, your pick, Great Keppel, mate. A little bit unlucky there. Just couldn't quite get clear air when he needed it.
I have to speak about this one. A disaster. Again, jeez.
You stuck solid. You stuck solid.
He's had 4 starts this preparation, and probably, well, not probably, I think definitely, besides last start, he should have won 3 of the 4. It's as plain as day to see. No luck yet again. This horse is busting at the seams to win a race. He probably, when he does, you'll give him a good whacking and then go on with it. But, geez, he just keeps striking trouble. Not much more to say. Should have won, plain and simple.
Yeah, no, ran super, and we'll follow into his next start again, mate. Just keep sticking solid there. We will. And TZIPORAH, since you and Fatty had a crack at her on the show, she's just gone. She looked like being a winner 2 times in a row, mate. She's back.
It's Fatty's fault, that one, not mine. He give her the canning, but it was good. We probably changed her training around a little bit. She's she does a lot of work on the treadmill. She's quite an aggressive going horse, always. So we've been able to bring her back a bit on the treadie, and seems to be working. So she was good again yesterday. He gave her another good ride. I must say he's riding quite well, Matt McGilvray. Give her a good ride, and just a bit unfortunate. Those 2 got home over the top of her for to run third, but she's very close to winning. And if we can split those up somewhere, both those horses we nearly win at the next start.
She's a tough one, jockeys, eh? Like, he's only striking about 1 and 3 for us. Old Matty McGilvray, and he's going okay. He's going all right.
I know I could say he's going great. He is riding well. I think he's improved a bit, and he's maturing as a jockey. So that's good, and it's good to see him. He probably 6 months ago, he'll ride 1 good, 3 bad ones. But right now he's given most things a chance. So that's great.
Yeah, nice words. Okay, good stuff. And a lucky last runner for the weekend, Trent, was Cool Wedge in at Ipswich yesterday.
Yeah, it went well. Just like I said, early tempo of those fast run 1200-metre races will be suited by a little bit further, and hopefully draw soft again so she can settle a little bit closer, and hopefully she can get the job done within the next start or 2. She should improve fitness-wise. Poke through there, run probably ended 100 out, but raced pretty creditably, I thought, and place her correctly in a sort of weaker grade, then she can win pretty quickly, you'd have to hope.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, congratulations on a great week. It's a terrific week. Look forward to chatting again on Thursday ahead of plenty of nominations I see coming through for the weekend. So, yeah, enjoy the rest of your week.
Thanks very much. Well done. Thank you.